be a very courteous time, pay attention, ask them some questions, and enjoy.
Cool.
Have fun. Okay, great.
All right. Awesome. And I'm so happy and excited to be here. I feel like it's like seeing all of you guys as students, like it reminds me of when I was a student and I was kind of like first starting and trying to get used to like taking clients, trying to get used to, I don't know, just adapting to the new role, you know? Like by a show of hands, who in here has taken clients already? Okay, nice. At a show of hands, who hasn't taken clients? Awesome. Okay. I just bring that up because I feel like for me, that was something that was super big. When I was first starting, is like you want to impress the client. Like you want to show out the client. And I kind of just wanted to start this off with that just because if you feel nervous to take a client or you feel like, you know, there's a lot of pressure, you feel judgment from people on Instagram or peers or anything like that, I just want to kind of say that like that is a good thing. Like if you feel like anxious, if you feel scared to take clients or anything like that is a good thing. And I'll tell you why that's a good thing. Because it shows that you care. It shows that you care about the client. It shows that you want the best result for the client. Right? Like at the end of the day, like you guys are in school and you guys are around all your fellow you know, classmates, things like that. But at the end of the day, like the client is the most important thing, right? So I just kind of wanted to kick it off with that. And if you feel pressure to do your first haircut, do your first service, or anything like that, like just remember that like you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Everyone in this room has felt pressured at one point to do that. I felt pressured. I remember. I'll like start with like a fun story about myself, but I remember I'll like kind of frame it out. So I was cutting hair in my garage, right? I was like 2 months into cutting hair, something like that. 2 months, a month, whatever it was, and I was always super confident, like in person, I guess you could say, like at school, in high school, like confident in the sense of like, oh yeah, like come get a haircut with me, like I got you, I'll get you right. Like I was always watching like barbering videos, and I'm sure you guys always watch like Cosmo videos, right? And I was always like, oh yeah, come get a haircut with me, this and that. But the feeling when they would actually come to my house, like my heart would like drop. Like who in here like feels that same way like when a client comes through? You can be honest. Everyone feels that way, right? If you feel that way, that's the best thing. Like that pressure is gonna get you to, you know, actually keep going, and once you guys start seeing more results, people coming back, like that's inspiring, you know. But yeah, so I was cutting hair in my garage, and I remember back then I had like a little. It was almost like a little corner, kind of like that, and it was like 2 curtains, kind of like separating like my own little like studio type of thing, like in the garage, and I remember specifically that day it was like 100 degrees outside. Like it was literally so hot. Who in here like does home services? You guys do home services? Do you guys ever feel like sometimes it's like a hard environment to like do a service because there's stuff going on, and you know maybe you don't have the most professional, beautiful setup right here, right? You don't have AC. So that was me when I first started, right? 2 curtains, 100 degrees outside, and I just remember feeling like just nervous. Like I never cut the guy's hair. It was a haircut I've never done, right? And I remember my mom, she was cooking food inside of the garage. She was like making like, do you guys know what birria is? ¿Qué es la birria? She was making birria tacos. It was 100 degrees outside. She's over here making birria tacos. I never cut this client. I never even met this guy. And I'm over here sweating. I haven't even started the haircut. He's over here sweating. We haven't even started. And like in that moment, I just remember feeling so like discouraged, just because I'm like, I don't have the setup, I don't have the skill, I don't have like, and even I was just like awkward too at the same time to throw it all in there. I was hella awkward. So like, basically I was like at the 0 point, right? And then one thing that I remember from that specific service though, is I could tell that the guy that came, he like, one thing kind of changed in me in that moment. I could tell that the guy wanted to see me do good. The guy that came to get his haircut. And amongst all of that, I felt like he could kind of read my body language, he could read the room, he could see like everything, right? And I remember him telling me when he left, like, it was a terrible haircut, honestly. It was a terrible haircut. It was a terrible conversation. It smelled like birria. Imagine like getting your haircut and you just smell like, you just hear like the pan sizzling. And like, that's crazy, right? That's insane. So, yeah, it was like a gnarly situation to get a haircut. But I remember the guy specifically after the haircut, I remember him telling me, bro, like, just keep going, bro. Like, you're gonna do well, bro. Like it was a terrible haircut. He's like, dude, honestly, like, I'm probably gonna have to get this fixed. He said, I'm probably gonna have to get this fixed, but I had a good time. He said that though. He said, but I had a good time. And in that moment, I was like, well, you had a good time. You got a terrible haircut, and it smelled like birria, and you were hot, and you were sweating. Like, why did he have a good time, you know? And I don't know, that's when I felt like there's power in like you being fresh. There's power in like you barely starting. Like, you're gonna come across people that like for no reason just want to support your journey. I'm sure you guys have already met people like that, right? Where like they have really no reason to support you, but for some random reason they're like, I'm gonna lock in with you. I'm gonna repost your stuff. I'm going to go to your school. I'm gonna interact with your posts. I'm gonna give you like words of encouragement. There's just people out there that are like, they have good hearts, bro. You know, we interact with clients all day. Sometimes there's some people that could be discouraging, they'll be rude or whatever, but there's people out there that like literally just because you're just starting, they're going to support you, you know? So I just wanted to kind of start off by saying that, like, if you have a home setup or if you've never done a first haircut, like, this is like the fun part. This is like the part where like later on you're going to be like, damn, I really like didn't know anything, but I was still out here taking clients and I was still out here trying to like provide a good service. So for everyone that's in the starting point, I feel like that's the most discouraging part, is when you see everybody doing amazing work and followers and all this stuff, but like that's not you yet, right? Who in here can kind of relate to that? Cool. Yeah, for sure. That's why I'm like, that was a big thing for me. But yeah, we can pass it over to Veronica. I want her to tell a little bit about herself, her story.
Okay, cool. I'm loud enough to talk from this side, but I'll get up there. Hey guys. Okay, so my name is Veronica. I'm one of the administrators over at Bay Barber Institute. So Ricky's my boss. So I always make it a point to say that, because it's, you know, he's talking about the garage setup and how horrible it was or whatever, and I'm sure he never in a million years saw himself, maybe back then, right, running a barber college and having employees. So I was one of his first employees, like real legitimate employees. And so I'm super, super thankful that Ricky is an awesome boss and he's able to actually listen. So we had the type of boss he is, he has weekly meetings. We touch bases every week, and he opens it up for us to discuss with him like some of our issues. And he's just been a really good boss. Even though he's going through the learning phases, and he is going through the learning phases, he's very open and transparent, humble, and he wants his school to do good. So this last weekend, or yesterday, right? Yesterday. I call it because it's my weekend. So on Monday, it was one of those weird things. He asked a very hard question, and I thought it was really interesting. You guys are gonna get a kick out of this. He asked me, what can I do better as a boss? Like, what do you like that I do, and what do you not like that I do? And I was kind of like, that's a very, very big question to ask, right? Yeah. Because we all have been employed, right, with somebody, and so sometimes things go good, sometimes things go bad, sometimes there's good days, bad days. So I thought it was a very brave question to ask as a new employer, right? Because he had a group of us, and he has 8 of us working for him, right? So to ask 8 people, what do you like and not like about me, is kind of a brave question, right? Because what if you don't like the responses? So that's one thing I like about Ricky, and I thought that was like I said, I thought it was a really good question to be asking as a new employer. So my name is Veronica. Like I said, I'm one of the administrators. I've gone through the barbering program myself, so I know a couple faces through here that have seen me through the barbering industry. So Definitely have enjoyed it. I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. So I'm 42 years old. I was a single mom before. I'm still a single mom before, but nonetheless, single mom before. This is a second career path for me. When I first started the barbering world, it was very scary. I had no idea if I was even making the right choice, right? So I came from the law enforcement world. I was a police officer for 14 years. I was injured at work, and so I was forced into a early medical retirement. And so it was scary, like super scary for me to start over, because everything I've ever done, I had poured into law enforcement. So naturally I started getting nervous, like, how in the world am I gonna make my bills? I'm going out on a partial retirement, I'm not getting my full pension. 14 years in, I could have just done another 6 years and I would have my full retirement. So I was stressed the heck out, like super stressed out, had no idea how I was gonna maintain my lifestyle. I was going at the same time, I was going through a divorce, so it's even worse, right? So now my income's changing because my husband's not there. Now my income's changing because I'm being forced into a medical retirement, and I really wasn't sure if I was making the best choice when it came to barbering. This is kind of a little weird, sorry, but I knew I couldn't work with girls. I knew I could not work with girls. Sorry, I love you guys, but I just could not, me personally could not work with girls. I came from the real estate industry before I did the whole law enforcement thing, and so what I kind of learned is I'm a little bit of a shit talker, to be honest with you, and so I heard
Really?
things.
Really? Never heard of that.
Ricky will tell you. Everybody here will tell you. I will sit here and hurt feelings all day long, and everybody, she's laughing because she knows me.
But you're really nice, though. You're able to say that, yeah.
It's a joke, but not everybody gets my sense of humor, right? So because of that, I kind of thought, like, every time I worked around people, they always taking me the wrong way, or they take it personal, and so I already knew my personality was just not going to match very well. So I thought, well, I'm going to be a barber. So I started during COVID. I did a horrible job cutting my kids' hair, but I thought I had it together. I look at my photos and I'm like, oh my God, I had no business. Like, I almost want to delete those photos, but I want to see the progress. Well, how do I hide these off my Instagram, right? Like, it's embarrassing, some of the photos that I posted. But nonetheless, I started during the pandemic, and honestly, I fell in love with it. One of the things I struggled with so bad from coming from the law enforcement world, and everybody here will tell you this, and anybody who knows me knows, I'm such the people helper. Like, I love helping people. So I struggled with going from law enforcement to barbering, because I kept thinking, okay, how do I go from a job that has so much meaning to a job that I felt, at the time, well, I don't know if there's a meaning behind it other than cutting hair, right? Like, I didn't really see that connection, right? And I struggled with that for a little bit. And so it kind of like, that's what made me kind of second guess whether barbering was for me. So what I learned through the whole process, I went through the whole barbering program. I do cut hair. I am a barber as well. But what I learned of the administration side, the reason why I fell in love with it so much is because I can help my students, right? I can help my students. We're constantly giving back. We're constantly doing community service. I mean, they'll tell you I'm the first person to give out a free haircut. I'm the first person that if you don't have lunch money, I will take you to lunch. So there was so much more that I can do with just the barbering world. So I was able to really impact and influence my students, and then also community members that may or may not have the haircut services, the needs for that. Yeah. So for me, that's where I fell in love with the barbering program. I realized that it's more than just a haircut. Like, you can really change people's perception of just the way they feel about themselves just by changing their haircuts, right? Like, a lot of times you can wear whatever you want, but if your hair does not look right, and you guys know this, right? Like, if your hair's not right, it does not matter. Your makeup can look great, but if your hair's not right, the hair really kind of makes a huge difference, right? So I fell in love with that side of it, and so I constantly find ways to give back in the barbering industry as much as I could. So that's my little story.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I kind of wanted to kind of touch on what we were going to go over today, right? We're not really going to go too much into detail on techniques for barbering or techniques for cosmetology, right? And the reason for that is because when I think about my journey, right, in servicing clients, taking clients, never do I think about, oh my God, I remember I got better as a barber when I started using my clipper in this way, or when I tried this new technique, right? I remember getting better as a barber when I grew as a person, right? It's all connected. It's funny how we're here and we have all these mannequins, we have all these things, right? But we truly grow when we grow as people. Like, I remember when I started, like, I didn't know how to talk to anyone. Like, I literally could, like, I felt like it was just like the high and by sort of thing, right? I felt like I couldn't really make a connection. And the reason why we're gonna be talking about that today is because that is the most important part, right? And I feel like it's just one of those things where someone tells you, oh yeah, connect with your clients. Yeah, make sure to connect with your clients. Yeah, for sure. But like, where's the actual steps? Like, where's the thing that I can like follow to like actually do that? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's almost just like this thing that just thrown in the air. Grow your social media and then connect with your clients, you'll be good. Like, how do I do it? You know what I mean? Who in here, as of recently, has had a win, like a W with the client, to where you feel like you're really connected and you feel like you locked them in as a client and it was a good experience? You want to tell me about it? Yeah.
It was like a 3-in-1 because I have a lot of certifications. So she got her hair done, her nails done, and she got a wax done.
Damn.
Nice.
Clap it up. Let's go. That's a dub. Let's get hype. She got all 3 of those. Shit. Okay. Yeah.
For me now,
Yeah.
that's before I was pregnant, it was easy. But now that I'm pregnant, it does take a lot on my body. But I would say, like, after seeing like my finished results and seeing the smile on my client's face, that lets me right then and there.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Do you feel like, how do you feel like in that exchange with the client, where do you feel like you hit like a tipping point? Like, oh, we're cool now. Like, we're not just like, she's not just going to come in and hi and bye. Like, where did you feel like that happened?
I'd say when she would randomly text me or like 1
Okay.
o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Asking about
Yeah.
services or like,
Yeah.
kept sending me stuff on Instagram, like style she wants to try or nails she wants to try.
Okay.
Just general information about like a lot of services that
Yeah.
I have, and asking like, oh, if I got this service, like,
Yeah.
what would benefit me or how would it benefit me?
Yeah.
What other options are there for me to do if I can't get this service?
That's amazing. So that's the result of like building the connection. But like, let's say like, let's look back to like that specific service you